Hi everyone, this is Marjolein de Boer from the Human Factor with Sjors Koppens from d'HuZes. Sjors, welcome.
Thank you, Marjolein. How are you?
Great to have you. Before we start our conversation about d'HuZes, let me first introduce why we're having this conversation together, because we already know each other from a work-related context. We work together at Achmea Investment Management, and now we're going to talk about d'HuZes. And that's because from my company, I find it really important to take social responsibility as an organization. So this year, we're really excited that we get to support a lot of great causes, and d'HuZes is one of them. So hopefully this conversation that we're having about d'HuZes is going to inspire others to help out wherever they can. So first of all, Sjors, can you tell us what d'HuZes does?
Yeah, what does it do? Well, in fact, it's a foundation that is its sole aim is effectively to raise money and to support research for cancer. And over the years, we've been existing now for 15 years onwards. The 15th edition will be next year, 2022. So far, we've raised 180 million euros. It's a lot of money, but it's not enough, I'm afraid. And how do we do it? Because there's many foundations, many events that raise money that trying to get cancer in the picture and to the research for cancer. What we do is we effectively challenge people to climb the Alpe d'Huez, which is the so-called Dutch mountain in Tour de France, and the annual tour in France on the bicycle, on the racing bicycle. We effectively challenge them to do it once, twice, up to 6 times. Because our driving motto is never give up, never stop, don't quit. But this is meant for the participant, the one cycling, walking, running the mountain. Never give up. There's not enough money. We must raise more euros for cancer research. Because, by the way, mind you, 1 in 3 people will be affected by cancer regardless. Why is it, let's say, invigorating? Why are people actually joining, want to participate? Yes, raising money is one thing, but in the end, we organize a full week in France. Yesterday, the climb is the perfect day. This is, just imagine, it's dark, 4:30 in the morning a.m., quiet, you see little candles burning, and everybody's quiet, and about 5,000 people start cycling, start walking, and slowly climb up the mountain, slowly going to the top. The first hour is full quiet, everybody thinking about the loved ones, the friends, they either lost or still fighting or survived in a way. And then it turns and becomes more, if you like, party is maybe too much to say, but very encouraging, very enthusiastic people to get on the mountain. This doesn't matter who you are. We're friends, regardless. Wow. Because it's all one binding cause. And it's a very, very, very interesting, very great event. But it's not enough. Still working to raise money, and that's very important. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as I'm hearing you talking, I think you've done it as well, and I can imagine that you also have your own reasons to really give all your energy and passion to this cause. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Sjors?
I can. For me, it's actually twofold. Yes, obviously, there's many, or at least some people in my direct relationships, my friends, that passed away. They fought, they lost, and in the early 40s, maybe late 30s, which is very difficult to experience. At the same time, the reason why I started was because I was asked to join the organization, the foundation, from a more governance. What do you do in your daily job as a board member in the asset management industry? How can you relate that to a organization, a foundation that raises hundreds of millions, but is still organized like being friends working together? And so to create a more professional organization, that was essentially the first step. This was 7 years ago. Today, I really enjoy working with these volunteers. We all do it for free. Regardless whether it's 20 hours a week, we do it all for free. Nobody is paid to do this. Everybody does it because it's driven by myself, driven by my own how to say, conviction that I should help. And that is a great effort and a great energy. And like we discussed, how do you motivate people? How do you work with people? This is a self-organizing foundation. People want to work with, of course, sometimes the difficulties, because it's also emotional, if you like. So yes, we fight for the same cause, but sometimes we try to organize it according to my way or your way, and that might conflict. But today it's great to work with this group of people that is very enthusiastic and can move mountains literally. Really. It's a very great environment to work in. Yeah.
And I can imagine that because you also are talking about why you joined d'HuZes. For me, why I support d'HuZes is because my mother had cancer when I was in my early 20s, and that she survived, so she's still alive. But I'm quite sure that if the research wasn't as far as it was at that point, that she would not have been here. So I totally agree with you. We need to raise more money for this cause. But I think also how you talk about it, that everyone is so passionate because it's so close to the heart and it's so dear to the heart. And I think it's also something that really bonds people together, right? Not only that week, but also working on it together. It bonds and it creates also resilience together.
It does. Yeah, no, absolutely. And yes, we discuss, it's a yearly event, so it's 1 day or 1 week a year, but actually the preparations takes a year as well. So on a daily basis, 200, 300 volunteers are working on the event, preparing the marketing, preparing what is needed. Raising money is one thing, but also, for instance, 15, 25 huge trucks will drive to France for free. So how do you organize this kind of support or donations in natura, effectively in kind? And people do that. And people talk to large commercial sponsors. How can you help us building tents, creating, for instance, a training facility for what we call the motards, the people on the motorbikes, guarding all the bicycles and the people on the mountain that day for safety reasons.
Wow.
A lot to talk about, sorry. Yeah.
And sure, as I'm listening to you, does this mean that when I would want to donate to this incredible cause, I actually don't really hear any overhead costs because all the volunteers do it for free and you get a lot of things done for free? Does it mean that when I donate 100 euros that all that money can go into the research for cancer?
It will. It actually will. So wow. we split the two cash flows, if you like. So if you donate, we guarantee all the euro, every cent will go to cancer research. That's a given. That's a starting point. Of course, we need money. We need organizational cost, and that's not because we are being paid as volunteer. Again, 100% is volunteering. However, of course, sometimes you need to rent equipment. Our goal is to get it done via donations in kind. So we ask companies, we ask people, can you donate us, for instance, like the truck I mentioned? If not possible, for instance, gasoline, then we will pay for the gasoline out of our organizational cost. But we will ask other commercial entities, can you support us via donations? Or can we, for instance, buy in groceries, we sell it, the margin will be used to make up for the cost of the organization itself. In the end, our aim is to donate more than 100% of the donations. So wow. we're not non-profit, but we make slightly more than is required to pay more than donations and to keep effectively the reserves intact. That's more an organizational answer, but in the end, all donations will go to research plus extra, and that's our game. Yeah,
it's really incredible.
Yeah.
So I cannot imagine people aren't inspired by your words and what d'HuZes does. What can people do to help out?
Well, there's this www.opgevenisgeenoptie.com.nl. which is a Dutch phrase, but if you Google d'HuZes cancer climb or cancer the hill climb or the bicycle climb, you can find it if international. There is a French and an English and a Dutch website. But yeah, opgeven is geen optie.nl. Go to the website, find one of the participants, and please donate because it's needed. Especially the last 2 years during Corona, we see there's a huge downfall in donations, and there is a slowdown in research, and needs to pick up again because we need to research. It's not done yet. Yeah.
And I actually think what you're doing yourself, I find very inspiring and really crucial right now. You're actually taking walks with people from the company on a safe distance outside in the open air where, you're safe. You're taking a walk to bond with the people within your company, Achmea Investment Management, but you're also trying to raise money that way with your walk. So that's how we started our connection. And I think, this is also something very simple people could do if you are so disappointed that you cannot take the climb because of COVID right now. You can take walks or bike rides and raise money that way, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just go out there, talk to people, say, okay, this is my achievement. Do you pay me per kilometer or per walking distance? And like we said, yes, I ask you for advice before I go on the walks with my people, with my colleagues, and I use it in the walk. And thank you very much for supporting. This is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, it was such a pleasure talking to you. And please, everyone, visit the website. You can also visit the humanfactor.io because I also put information about d'HuZes on there. So you can find everything on there as well, how you can make your donation. And I hope everyone's inspired. And Sjors, thanks so much for your time for this interview.
Thank you very much, Marjolein. Enjoyed it very much. Great. Okay.